Hey guys, this is Kieran from Eccentric Physio, and today we're looking at learning how to couple hip extension with lumbar movement or lumbar extension. This is a really useful movement for being able to walk and run, and we're going to do it on the ground in a way that helps you kind of feel what that movement's about and maybe expose some mobility restrictions that you have and you didn't know about. When we hip extend, our femur goes in the direction of backwards, so it may start in front of us depending on where our start position is. So that could mean a hip flexed position, and then it starts to go backwards this way behind me. Now, when it gets past neutral and starts going behind me, it starts coupling with what we call lumbar extension and rotation. And the reason being for this is explained in more detail in our lunge video and our sort of lower back content. So if you check out those articles, you'll kind of pick that up. But briefly, it just means that when my leg is behind me, my pelvis is going to rotate towards that leg. So from the front, my hips here are rotated this way towards my back leg. And what comes along for the ride is my lower back. So this area in here. And that starts to rotate with my hips as well. So they go to the right. They also extend, so they bend backwards. And you can see it from this plane here. They do this. Now I'm not bending back from up here. It's my pelvis anteriorly tilting and rotating this way, okay? So if you have a restriction in the tissues around here, it's gonna be hard to either extend or rotate. And you might feel like your hip gets really tight. But what's probably happening is one of two things. Either you've gone into full max hip extension to try and make up for the loss of lumbar rotation or extension, or you've got restricted range of movement there as well to protect the hip joint and also the lumbar spine. These are protective things, and they're things that just couple together, and it's your body's way of sort of, doing the right thing and keeping you safe. Now, it doesn't mean that moving outside of it is unsafe forever. It just means you have to expose the body to that movement in an environment that it feels comfortable doing it. And one of the ways we can do that is by laying on the ground and starting to get into some rolling patterns. So you would have been doing this as a young baby, and it's when you start to develop some of that ability to roll. So I'll show you from a couple different angles, but to start with, you might be flat like this. Now, if I push my right leg through the ground, it's going to lift my hip up like this. So I'm hip extending, and I'm also abducting. It's going away from my midline, and I'm extending and rotating my lower back. And if I keep pushing, it's going to roll me over, okay? Now, I could do that with a bent leg as well. So if I push down and I push hard enough and for long enough, it's going to rotate me. So I'm not, see how my hip extends there? My pocket gets closer to the sky, going up, and I have to rotate through my lower back. Now my upper back's doing some rotation as well, but that doesn't come in until later. If I let this lag behind, now I'm getting a big stretch through here. But typically what will happen is you'll rotate first. So if I push, come along for the ride, and I just push myself over. And just get to sidelines fine. I could go all the way onto my front. I can come back. Now, you can do that hip extension as well to bring you back over. If I was here and I pull my leg up, I'm getting the same thing of hip extension and rotation all the way back onto my back here, okay? So from another angle, I'll show you what that looks like. If we spin this guy around, if I'm here and I push down and rotate over, if I try with this leg out to the side, I can see my foot. It's not here where I can't see my foot. It's out here where I can see my foot. And I push myself over this way. And I'm trying to do this without jerking. There's no momentum. I can still talk. I can still breathe. I'm pretty relaxed about it. That's kind of the effort that you're looking for. We're not looking for a 1 rep max effort here, and the whole body tenses up. I'm pretty relaxed elsewhere, okay? So a basic movement, but it's a little bit of a nice test for mobility, especially if you're going to try and go from laying on your back onto your front. It's probably a little bit more of a test of strength when you're going from your tummy onto your back, particularly of your back muscles, because they're the ones that are going to finish that movement. Most people will be able to lift their leg off the ground, but they won't be able to get the pelvis off the ground and rotate over. So develop a little bit of capacity here, and you might find that there's a side-to-side difference. And if you start to even that out, you can build it into more lunge movements, and then they'll start to see improvements in your walking and your running and things like single leg step work or potentially even some jumping. If you like this video, then please hit like below. Otherwise, to check out more of our content in the future, you can subscribe to our channel by clicking our logo over here. And to check out our latest video, click up here.